Hello there, it's Power Coach Alishia here, and welcome to Power Up with Power Coach Alishia. I'm your source of fun, funny, exciting, entertaining, educational, and transformational life coaching and speaking with a twist of tough mama bear. No fluff, no hand-holding, no bullshit love. I specialize in helping women step into their personal power, unleash their inner badass, and put themselves first without feeling guilty, unapologetically authentic. And today, we're talking about overextending ourselves to fill a void. Now, this comes from the Unapologetically You community that I have here, and I got this idea. Good morning, Gianna. Why am I always attempting to figure out topics for the Power Up with Power Coach Alishia? Why not look at the challenges that the new members to my free community are facing, what they're going through when they dig deep on, I do a daily post, and then use that as a topic to talk about. So that is what we are going to do today. Okay. Watch party time. Let's see. I made it. I made it another day, you guys. I am so proud of myself. Every day I'm celebrating the fact that I show up live. Ooh, Mary, I'm so glad you made it then. I'm going to go as fast as I can getting these watch parties started. You know what I'm grateful for is that my eyelash lady did not cancel eyelashes. I'd have to sit with my head over a steaming bowl to get these fucking things off. And then I'd have to figure out where I was going to get fucking mascara. Hi, Julie. And then start wearing mascara again. So I am grateful that she needs the money. Is that fucked up or what? Hi, Amy. I crack myself up if you haven't noticed. All right, last share, and then it is time to send my message, and then we're going to get to getting. So today's topic is overextending ourselves to fill a void, all right? Just to remind you of what we are talking about today. And if you would like daily reminders of when I go live, first of all, when I get done here, you can turn on notifications, or I think down at the bottom it comes up and it asks you. But you can send a message to my page here. Well, I don't know where you're watching this live, but I have a group that's Unapologetically You with purple hearts around it, and then a page that's Unapologetically You. I'm waiting for Facebook to change the name. If you send a message to the page that says hi, then you'll get a message each morning when I go live. All right, so this is what the member from my Unapologetically You community said. I have a very bad habit of overextending myself and helping other people with their projects that I forget about the things that I need to get done. I love helping other people. I love helping other people out, but sometimes I overdo it. I say yes many times when I should say no. I say yes many times, not out of guilt, but because, well, just because I love to help someone out. Then I get in over my head, and I think that I need to dive into this a little deeper. I have a feeling it may be deeply seated into proving that I'm useful and not a pain in the ass. Hi, Latia. I'm going to say that last line one more time. I have a feeling it may be deeply seated into proving that I'm useful and not a pain in the ass. So I, first of all, loved that she said this, and I instantly copied and pasted it because, hi Kirby, hi Christina, I knew that I wanted it to be a topic for Power Up with Power Coach Alishia. Hi Ruth Ann, Julie, Marcy, Bell, what's up, what's up? Hi Dorothea and Maya, everybody's in the house. So say hi to me in the comments wherever you are. Shout out hi in the comments here. If you are on replay, just drop hashtag replay in the comments so that I know you're watching and can respond to you as you're going through the video on replay. So here's the deal. Most everything that we do now that's detrimental to ourselves, hi Mary Mayhe, is because of something that's deeply seated from our past. Now, it's not always our childhood, right? It's not always the bad parent, bad dad, bad stepdad, bad growing up, bad life, right? It's not like that. It can be a past person you were married to. It can be friendships. Like I have, not necessarily PTSD because I've worked a lot through it, but I have issues with getting really close to girlfriends. Every close girlfriend I've ever had has what I felt like left me, right? Every man that I have loved and been with has either died or cheated on me besides my husband. Like I could go on and on and on and on and on. Now I don't choose to anchor any of my power to my childhood because one, if I wasn't raised the way that I was, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today. And I don't have any, it's weird because my mom was like the meanest mom in the world, but she also taught me not to be a victim. And well, I thought she was the meanest mom in the world. Let's be real. But because she taught me not to be a victim, I'm not a victim about the fact that she was mean to me. So it's almost like, I don't know, she did both, right? She gave me the strength to not be a victim, but she was a fucking mean ass mom. Hi, Shermanda. So it's really funny. Hi, Anitra. Now, my mom is my best friend in the whole world. So, it's not like, there's issues or something there. But anyways, so deeply seated and proving that I'm useful and not a pain in the ass. All right. So yours might not be the pain in the ass part, but normally when you overextend yourself, it's to fill a void or a lack or to stop someone from feeling a certain way about you and the decisions that you made, right? So before I jump into this topic, I want you to be thinking about the last time, hi Kelly, that you overextended yourself because of a reason that wasn't positive. Meaning, like, here's a great example. So this last weekend, and I've talked a little bit about this, hi Cindy, I overextended myself and I did not do it for any other reason than from the goodness of my heart and because I knew that I was the person, the only person that could help my friend. I knew it. So, hi Zephyr. I knew that, so I knew that it was something I wanted to do. Now, I didn't feel pressured. I didn't feel like I had to. I didn't feel like if I didn't, then this was my consequence. So I did overextend myself, but it was such from a place of good that I have no issues with that, right? Everything was a conscious decision. It wasn't a think twice about saying yes and doing it and making it happen. Hi, Kellyanne. And yes, I did pay that consequence. Yes, I really had to do a lot of work on myself on Monday. I was exhausted and sick, but that also came from last week, right? Again, making that conscious decision to overextend myself, right? But then there's another way, like if I can't really think too recently, but further back where I was making decisions because if I didn't, then I would have to listen to their mouth, whoever it was, their mouth. If I don't do that, then this will happen. If I don't do that, then that will happen. If I don't do that, then that will happen. Those are the decisions that I'm talking about. And for you, it could be a lot deeper than that, right? If I don't do that, then I'm going to be attacked verbally, right? If I don't do that, then I'm going to be beat. If I don't do that, then I'm going to get the silent treatment. So, or whatever, or I'm going to miss out on my kid's life, or my family is going to alienate me, or my mom will not talk to me, right? Hi, Charlene. So it can be a lot deeper. Are you guys tracking with me? Shout out yes in the comments if you're with me. Let's see. All right. So I said hi to everyone so far. All right. So how do you stop from overextending yourself and making these decisions? Well, in this example, the very first step is to recognize that you're doing it, right? Which she did. And once she recognized that she was doing that, then the next step from there is the next time the urge comes up to overextend yourself, and it's not for any other reason than the greater good of your heart, you say no, right? Hi, Estrees. Hi, Celia. Now, there's also a problem with overextending yourself from the greater good of your heart. We'll talk about that next, right? So the next time you go and do it and it's not from the greater good of your heart, you have to say no, right? You have to say no. I use that word purposely there. Extremely important, because if you say yes, then what happens is you shift into taking these actions out of that feeling that void, right? Not wanting them to be mad or feeling like you have a purpose. So there's that too. So sometimes you overextend yourself so that you feel important. And so you're getting your importance from helping other people rather than getting your importance from yourself and what you do for you and how you show up in life. And so this makes me want to pivot to another really powerful example of someone else that is not in my community, but is my friend. Her mother is very overbearing. And I hear this a lot inside of the Unapologetically You community. It's my mom, it's my mom, it's my mom. Because when you join the group, I say, what's stopping you from stepping into your personal power, right? So then people will write fear, myself, that I'm not good enough, da 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 da. And then when you join the group, I welcome you and then I say, tell me more about the fear. Or I welcome you and I say, tell me more about how you're stopping yourself. Or da 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 da. Whatever you said, I want to know more about it. And I would say, 1/3 of the time it's their mother, right, that did this. And the reason why the mom is usually like, that's a big portion, 1/3 being the mother, is because that person raised you and instilled everything in you. And so they have a lot of power. Until you can cut that power off, hi Alicia, then what ends up happening is they overtake, their power constantly overtakes you. Hi Latoya. So with that, I am working with one of my friends on cutting that, right? And it's hard. It is a fight that you have to have within yourself to not take that action, right? So she has this decision to overextend herself and do what her mom wants her to do. Or she could say no to her mom so she could say yes to herself and gain more power. Now, when I say gain more power, I don't mean power over her mom. I mean power over her own decisions, her own personal power, unleashing her inner badass and putting herself first without feeling guilty. That's what I mean when I say power, all right? So a lot of times when we're an adult and our parents are into our relationship, it comes from the fact that you're telling your mom or your parents everything. If there's a bad day and you don't have unbiased people, then you're creating this, shitstorm for your mother or your parents to, judge your partner, and they're telling you what to do all the time and what decisions to make. And so what ends up happening is it creates turmoil in your relationship because your mom or your dad or both of them or your whole fucking family, depending on how close you are to everyone, is telling you what to do and how to do it. So one way you could be overextending yourself is to fill the void of not wanting to upset your mother, right? Not wanting to rock the boat with your mother. And it doesn't help that when these relationships are like this, it shuts you down, right? Because that person has so much power and you have so little power that it's like raining over you. So when they, flex, you fall immediately, right? So I'm like fighting like a motherfucker for her to fight for herself to shift that power. So right now when I view this, and I hope she watches this, right now when I view this, I see her mom still like this over here, and I see her down here. When this started, it was like this. Her mom was pretty much just on top of her, suffocating the fuck out of her. But now it's shifted, right? And at this very moment, today, right now, she has a choice on whether to continue exercising her personal power, right? Or to let her mom overtake. And it is so easy to give in, right? When somebody has that much power over you or a situation has that much power over you, or you make this decision because you want to be loved and you want to feel worthy and you want to feel worth it, because see, those are all voids being filled. It's so easy to just give right into it and be like, you know what? I can't do this. I do love you, honey, but I gotta go. Your ego bitch will rationalize that side of you that's saying like, you should do this. I can't believe you did that. You need to go talk to them. You need to go help them. You need to, do it, because if you don't, they're going to be mad. They're going to put you down. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Da, 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 da. And then all of a sudden your ego bitch takes over. The problem that I find is the ego bitch is so strong and so powerful that the ing is still talking, but the ing makes you feel bad. It's like a reverse psychology, right? The ing is like, no, stay the course. You've got this. And like, you need this. You can do this. But the ing doesn't yell generally. You're not going to find your ing being a loud voice in your head, right? Hi, Melody. Hi, Tandy. Yay. Like, you're not going to find your ing being like, you've got this. Go, girl, say no. Tell them to fuck off. You don't need that. That's not going to happen. Your ing doesn't get boisterous, right? Your ing comes from a place of when you go in there, right? Your ing comes, which ing stands for inner nudge for good. It's when you go there, when you check in. If you don't check in, your ego takes over and it runs the whole show. So I talk a lot about the ego and versus the ing, and I think people get confused on the ego is only the voice inside your head that is telling you shitty things about yourself. That's not true. The ego is actually the voice in your head that's leading you down the path of self-destruction, self-sabotage, taking the actions that are actually going to hurt you and make you sad and derail you. And then when you get derailed, the ego is also there to say, see, I told you you were a fucking idiot. See, I told you you were stupid. See, I told you this would happen. You can't do anything right. Right? And the ego will also do that at the same time when you choose the ing. So when you choose to say, you know what, I'm not going to say yes to fill a void to you, right? You're not saying this to the person. You're just saying it like to yourself out loud. I'm not going to say yes to them to fill a void. I'm going to say yes to me to power me up. I'm going to say yes to me to give me what I need. Your ing is like, yeah, right? And your ego's like, you're stupid. See the difference? Like this one's like, yeah. And this was screaming at you. Now, it can shift to where your ing is louder. It can, but it takes a lot of work. Negative is always more powerful and more prominent than positive until you shift it. I know it seems like so much fucking work, but it's true. All right, so let's see what you guys are saying here. So Mary says, I learned this huge lesson this past summer. It's hard to say no to your mom. I did it and it was rough. Go, Mary. Mary also says, for me, especially being physically and mentally abused by my mother, see, that's huge, right? That's the major control. That's the major power. That's this. Mom is like suffocating you. Yep. I made the decision that no one was going to treat me like that again. I hope my friend is here and that she, joins the community so she realizes she's not alone. I love that. So Anitra says, I feel like I took my power from my parents the day I went out of state for the first time the summer between my sophomore and junior year. Of college or high school? Because I would fucking kill you if it was high school. Unless it was approved. Just saying. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Nolly. All right. Luana's in the house. Okay. So how do you start the process? Like actually, hi, Tessa, of taking back that power? What does that look like? So let me give you a real life example about my friend. They're giving me lots of material this week. I love it. So in this specific example, this mom wants to have, or does, I want to say did, but it is still does, because I am being her power right now and really infusing my power into her for her to fight for herself, right? So does, I'm gonna stick with that, have a lot of power over here. Remember, we're still like this. So it could easily just shift, right? It's not very far for her mom to be suffocating her fully again. So we're hanging out like this. This mother wants this daughter to do every single thing that she wants her to do. This mother wants this daughter to leave her partner. This mother wants this daughter to do things the way she wants them done. And until I pushed the daughter to step up, which I have been pushing her a lot this week, which is a lot for her, I know, but they have to be instant changes, right? These are not things that can happen over time. The mother is doing her best to push back. And every time she starts to try, jumping up, what I love is that my friend reaches out to me. So I'm like, no, and it's pulling back. Meanwhile, her partner is really strong. Doesn't back down from confrontation. Let's go, sort of fight, argue. So I have to be like, hey, stop. Your only role here is support. Your only role here is love. Your only role here is to help her through this. If she goes back to her mom and has a meeting with her mom and makes that decision, you have to support that because you guys are on the same team, right? So when you have a partner that's involved in this, it makes it a hell of a lot harder, because if your friend, mother, dad, family member has that overbearing control over you, then that also means that it creates division between you and your partner. And so now you're fighting this battle everywhere. You feel like you're just in a fucking washing machine being tumbled back and forth, or like a ping pong ball, right? So be very, very careful. So the relationship is sitting like this. I wake up every morning coaching. Between the two of them, I'm pretty much coaching every morning. And I know and I can feel her energy that she's struggling so bad with not giving in, which is normal, right? And you will too. You won't have me in your ear, right? You won't have me telling you, no, say this instead. No, do this instead. Unless you're showing up here for Power with Power Coach Alishia, right? But then you have to do the work to carry that forward. And depending on how abused and beat down and how like heavy they are on top of you, it's going to be harder and harder and harder. And like day one, like this situation, hi Becca, in this situation, day one, you feel so powerful. Day one, when you stand up to that person, when you're like, fuck off, bitch, or whoever they are, you're like, right? You want to have a dance party. You want to scream from the rooftop. You feel like all powerful. You want to pound on your chest. Right? And then that's like moment one, really. Hi, Christy. And then it starts to dissipate. And then you're like, what did I do? Oh my God, I can't do that. I need to and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Especially if that person is flexing. So if they're flexing, it's going like this. Unless you're fighting back, okay? So remember this whole example that I just gave you. The more that they start flexing back, because, you know, when you do that, you think, yeah, I did it. I'm done. I got it. I'm good. But you're not. Because generally, this person is volatile for overall. Even in the example I originally started with, she says, you know, because I want to prove to myself I'm not a pain in the ass. Well, that's because her family's always told her that. You're such a pain in the ass. You're such a pain in the ass. You're such a pain in the ass. That's volatile. So it doesn't have to be such extreme example of what I'm talking about here with the mother. It could be somebody who just tells you your whole life that you're a bitch. And that is a derogatory term, not a bitch like a badass bitch, right? Which was my case. And I'm still a bitch, but now I wear it like a badge of honor. Because the bitch in me is what helps give me the power that you need to step the fuck up for yourself. If I wasn't that powerful aggressor and honest and blunt and fight for myself and I could not teach you how to do that. In my mind. I only know how to teach you how to do it my way, right? Okay. So I know I probably should be a teen life coach. I probably should. I'm learning that with my friend's daughter right now and some of the stories that I've heard. I'm like, I need to talk to that girl. And then my son's girlfriend, I'm like coaching her. So, that's what I was talking about. So you flexed, right? Yeah, I got it for like the first time and you feel so powerful. But what you forget is when you flex, the person who has had all of this power or a lot of power over you will flex back, but they'll flex back 10 times harder. And it will make you feel weak as fuck immediately because you felt so powerful. And then all of a sudden, boom, it'll make you feel so weak. And in that moment, you want to give up on yourself. In that moment, you want to overextend. In that moment, you want to say, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry. That's precisely the moment. Even though it's hard as fuck and your legs are shaking and your heart is racing and you feel like crying and screaming and punching someone and, falling down, that's precisely the moment that you stand back up and you put your chest back out and you say, no, right? That's precisely the moment that you go, I love you, but I love me so much more. When I'm ready, we can carry this forward. When I'm ready, we can talk about whatever it is you want to say. When I'm ready, we can build our new relationship. But what was will never be again. And I hope that you can respect that. Right? Does that make a difference? Or not make a difference, excuse me. Do you understand what I mean by that? So in this entire situation of the mom-daughter, mom's like, so I made her go have a meeting with her mom and flex. That's a strong phrasing, but it was part of her massive action plan. Okay? Go have a meeting with your mom. And when I say flex, not flex like me. Because when I'm flexing, it's like, I don't even know how to explain it, but powerful, boisterous, like you feel small. Like I would be the mom that destroys the child, right? Overbears the child, controls the child. But I'm coach this all the time. So I have course corrected a lot over the years with my kids. I still flex on them because I have to. I'm their mom, right? But it's not a flex all the time. You know, it's when it's important. Which is another, I actually have an example from last night, and to explain when it is important, especially when you're rearing children, and then when it's, becomes not important when they get older. So, I had her flex on her mom, and the partner had to go, he had to sit there, and he had to shut the fuck up. That was his only job. Hold her hand and shut the fuck up. You are not allowed to fight this battle. You are not allowed to say anything. Just sit there and hold her hand. So then she was to use I and me statements. So this is, you can use this. If you have somebody that you need to flex on, this is how you do it. Her partner, her husband had to be there because part of their biggest issue is that the mom had flexed her power to control her with her husband, right? And putting her husband down and not supporting in the relationship and hate the husband and blah, blah, blah. So the husband had to be there in this instance because it was this battle of not liking him and decisions and their marriage decisions, but it coming over into mom knowing, like all of these bad things. So that's why the husband had to be there. You don't always have to take your partner to flex, but it is good because you have that support. Like, what is it Kevin Hart says? I was so pissed I was going to run away. Me and He-Man were out. It's kind of like that. Come on, babe, let's go. So you have that power. Do you see what I'm saying? She would be telling him, okay, let's go. I'm done. Like sort of thing. So she can kind of, again, we're flexing. Are you with me on this? So here's how she flexed. She didn't go into this meeting talking shit and telling her mom, hi, Jennifer, you're a piece of shit. She didn't go into this meeting blaming her mom for her life. You can't do that. That's not what I mean when I say flex. That's a bad way of flexing, right? The way she flexed on her mom was, I need support. I need to be respected. I need to take control of my own life and make my own decisions. And I truly would love to... because she can't say you, so I something along those lines, like I and me. She was not allowed to say you, because when you have somebody who is suffocating you, as soon as you say, and you can't do this, and I'm no longer allowing you to do that, boom, defensiveness. Now you're in a fucking all-out battle, and when you're just barely starting to flex, you will lose that battle. I won't, but you would. Because you're barely starting to flex. My mom taught me to flex from a young age. She taught me how to be powerful from a very young age. The thing that she missed, I always say this, the one thing that my mom did wrong out of everything is that she never taught me tact, right? She never taught me to hold my tongue. She never taught me that side of anything, which got me kicked out of a lot of classes in school. My mom was constantly being called by my teachers. It caused guys to not like me because I was too strong, or maybe they did like me, but they were scared of me. I don't know. Oh my gosh. So, when you flex, and this could be on anyone, right? It's I and me statements. It's controlling that conversation. It's, when that person goes to speak up, shutting them down, please allow me to finish. That was one of the things that she had said to me she was going to say. She's like, and I'm going to tell her, the first time you interrupt me, the first time you don't let me finish, I'm out. And I said, you cannot say that. I was like, you can say, the first time I'm interrupted, the first time I feel like I'm not being listened to, the first time I feel like it's turning into a battle, I'm going to respectfully leave. For everyone's sake. Something like that. But you can't be like, and the first time, no, I know you want to go all out brawl flex, but you're not ready for that. So also remember that. You're going to want to go all out bra flex too, because now you feel powerful. You're like, fuck yeah, I can finally do this, right? You are not ready for that bra. I am, you're not, right? So, and the reason why I keep talking about me is because I named myself Power Coach Alishia for a reason. And I've said this a lot lately to the people around me. I named myself Power Coach Alishia because, one, I am an extremely powerful person. Two, I have an amazing ability to infuse that power into somebody who feels so weak that they can't even stand on their own 2 feet. Like, when I'm done with you, you have so much strength because for whatever reason, I have my ability to give my strength to you, to infuse you, like I said, with that strength, with that power, right? So she was ready just to go all out there, pouted her. You can't do that. You are not allowed to do that. So I had to reel her in, right? Do not do that. Do not say that. You can say it, but you have to say it differently. I and me. I saw her yesterday. She brought me a case of water. They were going to have the meeting last night, and I said to her, whatever you do, remember I and me. And she was so powerful and so excited last night, so proud of herself. Her husband was so proud of her. They had this great moment together that was about her power, not him exercising his power for her. It was her power. And I thought it was so amazing. And I can't wait to hear the whole story of how the meeting went. And then now, as her evening went on and the day has started, her mom's flexing like a motherfucker. I want to talk to you alone. We need to talk. I have things to say. Yeah. And it's very hard for her to fight that. So now her mom is starting to get like this. You guys know you can block people on your phone, right? It's not forever, just for like a couple hours, just for the day, was my suggestion. Block her for a few hours, then unblock her. During those few hours, which I'm on here live right now, so I can't tell her that, she needs to be increasing her power, right? So when she unblocks her mom, then it, they could go back. Well, yeah. No, she doesn't live with her mom. Fuck no. If she lived with her mom, she'd be living with me right now. No. However, she runs to her mom every time there's a problem with her husband. So that's a part of the problem, right? So now her mom has unnecessary power. She's always had this crazy amount of power, but now she has unnecessary power that now we have to get back from her mother. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Marlene. So Anitra says, my mom was so scared when I left that summer. When I returned, she tried to tell me I couldn't do it anymore. So I invited her to my event the following year, and that's when she let me go. That's awesome. I would have killed you. Just putting it out there. Janice says, that's something that I did not learn. Hi, Jillian. Until much later. Tact. Mary says, I remember just saying that to my dad. This conversation is over and I'm hanging up now. Mary says, that's awesome. They were getting on the same track together. Okay, cool. Now I'm caught up. Aw, thanks, Mary. It's a lot because I feel like I have emotional connection because he is my friend. So I tend to feel a lot more pain than I would if they were just clients. And so it's taken a lot for me to stay in my lane and to help her without feeling like, because when you get inside my bubble, if you will, when you're actually like my friend or my friend family, it's harder for me not to attach emotion. But I know that if I am to help them, I have to remain in the Power Coach Alishia role, right? If I'm to help her, I have to remain in the Power Coach Alishia role when it's necessary. And then I can go into that friend Alishia mode at the other times, right? So really quick, go ahead and pop in the comments. What has been something that you have taken away from this conversation that you are going to use going forward in your life? Shout it out in the comments. I want to hear from you. What is something that you've taken away from this conversation that you are going to use moving forward? While you guys are writing that, I want to say this. that the only way this changes is to remember to say no. And you need to be thinking about who flexes on you on a regular basis. You need to be thinking about who shuts you down, like makes you feel shut down. Who, when they step up, do you step back? When they step up, do you feel small? When they step up, do you feel unimportant? I want you to think about who in your life that is. And then, your next step is to have a meeting with them. And it's an I, me statement. You can even say, I love you, right? You can say you right there. I love you so much. I just need to take the time to put myself first and figure out my life. I don't give a fuck what you say. Just keep it I, me, right? And listen, let's talk about relationships really quick as we wrap this up. What I taught you today is amazing for in your relationship, right? So if you're upset, saying I, me statements helps diffuse the defensiveness in an argument, right? So this doesn't just have to do with outside people, even if, like, there's also flex situations, right? And that's something that I forgot to talk about. It's not always like somebody's flexing all the time, like that heavy weight, There's flex situations, right? In a relationship where you're flexing, they're flexing, you're flexing, they're flexing. The dominant one will usually flex more. Remember, that's me and my marriage. So knowing that, if you're the dominant one in your relationship, anytime you're like, boom. Now you are flexing so much that you're stifling them. We talked about this earlier this week. So you need to be particularly careful of the you and the blame verbiage instead of the I, me. I feel unsupported. I feel like I don't have a partner. I feel like I have to do everything. I feel like everything's on my shoulders. I feel like I'm not loved. I feel like, okay? You can say all of that and it triggers a different emotion. And then it's up to the other person that, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Dude, I will punch you in the throat, right? I literally stopped flexing and you said that. Fuck off. It's time to battle now. I haven't grown that much. Right there. I'll do I and me all day long until that fucking statement comes out. See? So I'm always working. I'm always growing. I don't have it all fucking figured out. I have it figured out, but I'm not perfect. So I feel like I do have it figured out. I know what I'm supposed to do. If they're like, I'm sorry you feel that way, I would be like, I truly dislike it when people say, I'm sorry you feel that way, right? Like, I could keep on the track, but I haven't grown enough to keep on that track. Just putting it out there. So Mary says, a reminder, use the language instead of you, do this, etc. People only have power over you if you allow it. Not true. People have power over you when you don't know any better. It is true, but it's a very passive aggressive statement. I don't love that statement because who's really going to allow somebody to be that way, right? Consciously allow that. Nobody wants to allow that. So a lot of times that people have power over you because it's all you know, right? And yes, it is a you'll let it, but I don't like the passive aggressiveness of it because it shows the person who feels like they're powerless that it's a choice they're making and it's just fucking stand up for yourself. You'll be fine. It's not that simple, right? And Tessa, since you said that, that's a really strong way of saying that coming from you. So I'm going to leave that there to kind of gut punch you a little bit. Mary, rest in peace to my mother, but I finally had peace. I struggle with my sister who has my mom's personality and now I piss her off. Okay, so that's the person that you're working on, right? Mary also says, and I say things like, I didn't retire to watch my nephew. I have to take care of my health. And what else? And I've ticked her off by saying, I don't know what to tell you after she rags on and on about her situation. She hung up on me and I had peace and quiet for a week while she was angry. Maya says, I hate it when people say that. Me too. You want to see me start flexing? Tell me I'm sorry you feel that way. Mary says, I'm guilty of saying that because it's a pseudo apology when I'm not going to apologize for not doing anything wrong. So I guess I need to be better that way. Yeah, because just because this is something else I talked about in my marriage counseling session the other day. Just because you don't feel like you were an asshole, just because you don't feel like you were rude, just because you don't feel like you did anything wrong doesn't make it true. If your partner or the other person in the situation feels like you were rude or you did something wrong, that is what matters. So that's what you have to fix. Not necessarily apologize, but let's come to a common ground. Let's come to an understanding. Let's come to move through. I'm not a big apologizer. Surprise, surprise there, right? Usually if you're a flexor, you're not a big apologizer, right? Remembering that it's not always about being right. It's about helping the situation move forward in a positive way. Let's see. All right, I think that is everything. Okay, so take this. Move forward. If you're watching this, please drop your number one takeaway in the comments. I definitely want to know what's connected with you. I know I got some of you guys that commented here, but I would really, truly love to hear what was your number one takeaway? What did you love? What connected with you? What are you going to use? Like, whatever. I want to hear from you in the comments, and I will be replying. So I will be back here tomorrow for our Power Up with Power Coach Alishia. If this is your first time watching, know that this is a daily show Monday through Thursday between 11 and 11:30 a.m. Eastern or 9 and 9:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I will be showing up live between that mark. It doesn't last in that timeline. I show up between that mark. It just depends on how my morning is going. Remember to say yes to yourself more than you say yes to other people. Give yourself some grace and just know it's all about progress, not perfection.